Welcome back to the Mind Talk Show. My name is Lynn. I am a mental wellness coach. In today's topic, I want to talk about how to deal with negative behaviors in your children. You are a parent there, you are raising children, and they are showing a lot of bad behaviors. You don't know how to tame them. You don't know what to tell them. You don't know how to discipline them. This is your video. Now, are you aware that for you to be able to know the child's problem, you have to know the root cause? Because many a times you find a parent disciplining a child, a parent bringing a lot of consequences to a child's behavior without knowing really what happened. Because most of the behaviors, most likely, they are started in school. Some of them are started in your compound, maybe with other children, and you're there disciplining a child because you have found them in a mistake. Instead of you establishing how and when that started and why it started, because there has to be something, there has to be somewhere these people or these children learned these behaviors from. So I want to teach you, first of all, there are causes why your child can behave funny or why your child can behave badly. Number one, life changes. For example, you have brought in a new sibling. You have given birth to a new sibling. So the other child will not behave the same. They will behave bad. They will behave abnormally. Yes, if you don't tame them or if you don't prepare them in advance. Because I've seen many a times someone is going to give birth and they have not prepared their 2-year-old child to receive another child or to receive a sibling or to receive a visitor in their home. So when she comes from the hospital, the child, the orientation is quite very hard. And these children will, most of the time, feel left out. They will feel so bad. They will feel that their space has been taken by somebody else. So we need to, in order for you to have a good home, to have these siblings love each other, you have to tell them in advance. Prepare these children in advance to know that there is a visitor, there is another child that is going to be introduced. Another thing that can make make these children feel awkward is when they change school. Remember, it's not recommended when children are young to move from one school to another or even move to a new country. It gives them a lot of pressure because these children have to start making new friends. They have to start, knowing the culture of that country or knowing the culture of those people. It's quite very hard. This can make your child start behaving in a bad manner, negatively, okay? Another thing is bullying or abuse. If a child has been bullied or has been abused at school, even physically, like a teacher took a cane and caned your child, they'll come home with a lot of pressure, with a lot of, annoyance, and they will come and stress you up. But you as a parent, you need to know where the behavior started from. This is what I'm trying to say, because if you don't want to know, if you don't want to establish, then this child will continue like that. And it's good to tame, or it's good to, to tame these children when they are young, because whatever you teach them, even the Bible tells us that teach the children when they are young. Whatever you tell them, they will remember in their adulthood. This is the Bible, okay? Another thing is learning disabilities. The teachers have high expectations on these children, and they have not noticed that this child maybe is not doing well in maths, and they are trying to push this child so much to do well. This will make them in an awkward situation whereby they will start deviating from the norms. They will even leave school. They will not even finish those assignments. But you, because you're a working mother, you're a working dad, you are fighting to get money to support this kid, you have not noticed that your child even does not do their homework. You have not noticed. And you're just seated there. You don't know whether this child has those disabilities in learning. But for your sake, you're just pushing the child. You don't know where these things started. Another thing is mental health issues. if a child has been going through anxiety, if a child has been going through a depression, they will start behaving in a negative manner. You tell them, they will be deviant, they will have a lot of outbursts, they will have tantrums, you know, all these characters, they will have them. But as a good person or a good parent, you have to recognize why and how and when these things started. Because if you don't, it's going to cost you, I'm telling you. Another thing is trauma. A child has gone through trauma. Maybe they have lost their relatives, their parents, their father, their mothers, they have lost their brothers, they have lost their, you know, their grandparents. It can keep them in a state of mental illness. And you need to understand, you need to know your child. You need to be closer to your child so that they can tell you what is going on in their life. And remember, traumas like abuse, rape, the child might keep quiet if they were threatened when that thing was being done to them. So it's you as a parent to be friend with your child. That is when they will be able to tell you what's going on. Otherwise, you will lose your child. You will lose them. Yes, you will lose your child. Another thing is poor parenting. Remember, there are parents who are very strict on their children. So children decide to be deviant. Yes, if you become very strict, let me tell you something. The children usually learns how you operate. Okay, they of course they cannot go beyond your mind, but most of the time the children learns how the tactics, how they can balance you, how they can, you know, they can tell you how they know. We did these things, remember? We are parents, but we did these things to our parents, even when maybe they were not learned or something like that. And remember, even the media is spoiling our children. They know a lot. They are exposed to a lot of stuff that are making them very, very curious, very hyper, very, you know, they have that aggression. So for you to understand your child, you have to dedicate your time. You have to take them slowly. You have to learn some few things, tips here and there, okay? But if your child is behaving in a way that you don't know what has happened, you have to find out what is happening. Because if you don't, you will find things really very terrible, and it will be very, very late for you. Now, there are common behavior problems in children. Those negative behaviors, what are these negative behaviors that I'm talking about? If you see your child lying, because children can lie for 3 good reasons. They will lie because they want attention. They will lie because they are avoiding a trouble. Yeah? You've caught them eating sugar and they have just rubbed their mouth very fast and they want to hide it from you. So they will lie because of that. They will also lie because it makes them feel better. Okay? So learn, when your child lies, try to find out why did they lie. Tell them what is happening. Tell them that lie is very bad, because you can establish a rule in your home or in your house that says no lying, or always say the truth. Like me, I usually say the truth will set you free. Even when it is bad, even when it's a bad thing, just speak it out. It will set you free. There is no one who is going to punish you because you said the truth. And they know they have mastered that. Even when myself I lie, you know, sometimes parents, you find yourself lying, you know, there are things you don't know how to tell the children, you don't know how to convince them, so you find yourself lying. I'm sorry to say that, but this happens a lot. So when you lie to your children, they know. If they notice that you have lied to them, you know what they say? Mommy, the truth will set you free. And I'm like, oh my God, I brush off. You know, I'm ashamed of that. So stop lying to your children, because sometimes they know what it is. Another thing, if you see your child, you see your child has deviated from the norm, just know that there is something, especially the teenagers. I've specifically talked about teenagers. If you see your child has come from school and they are deviating, they were children who are listening to you, right now they don't even want to care. Whatever you say, it's none of their business. Just watch out. There could be something going on. They could be going through a lot of pressures at school. They are needed to get some grades. They are not able to get a lot of pressures here and there, okay? or they have a problem with their fellow students, or they have a problem with a teacher. So you have to find out what it is that is happening to that child. Don't just let it go. Another thing is, if you see your children with too much screen time, and when you try to align that time, like you have already set time, that is what you should do as a parent. You set time that this time, from this time to this time is for watching, but from this time to this time is you cannot touch a screen, you cannot see TV, you cannot any electronics. And if your child, if they are, let's say, 9 years and above, and they have broken the rule, you have to give them a consequence. You have to tell them what it is. You have to punish them. You have to stop them either from watching a movie or from attending a music class. You have to deny them what they like best for you to punish them. Parents, please, may you not necessarily beat the children or go physical with the children. There are other better ways of disciplining a child. And I think there's an episode that I talked about how you discipline a child positively. And if your child has done a good thing, remember to recommend them. Okay? Yes, tell them that you have done very good. I'm proud of you for not doing what we said you shouldn't. It gives them that morale of doing good things all the time, so that you can applaud them. They like that. Children like that a lot. Another thing is disrespectful behavior. Of course, these children, you might they are children who are name calling. They are throwing things here and there. They are throwing pillows, cups. They are those children who would throw a lot of tantrums. If this happen, let these children know that it's not always their way. They cannot get what they want through crying. They cannot get what they want through throwing things. They cannot get always what they want by calling you names. If your child call you a name, that is an abuse. Okay? Try to talk to them. Tell them the society that we live in does not want someone who call people, for example, stupid. You shouldn't call people stupid. You know why? Because the society, other people don't want people to call them. They don't like people who call other people names. And I don't like that. When you call me a name, it's very wrong. And parents, please, be a role model to your child. You know why? Because children, I told you, they mirror you a lot. They mirror adults. They mirror everything that you do. Everything that we do, they mirror. So if you are the one who is using those words, you're telling them you're stupid, you're silly, you're this and that, imagine they will know that it's norm. It's their norm. It's just normal. It's just normal to call someone stupid. It's just normal to call someone names. If they get that name in school, try to tell them that the society we live in does not allow that. If you're the one who is using them, you have to stop, because children, they will mirror you. They will follow what you do. So try to stop. Try to stop completely. If you have done something wrong, apologize to the child. If you have used that word, for example, I've said stupid. I'm just using it as an example. If you have used the word stupid to the child, they will remind you even. They will tell you, Mommy, that is use of a bad word. Don't use that word again. They will remind you. But apologize to the child. The moment you realize that you have used that word that you said should not be used, apologize to the child and tell them, I will not do that. And for sure, don't do that again. Another thing is abusive language. Abusive language is whereby you're using those abusive words. I've said, I think I can tie that point with behavior and respect. So don't use those words that you don't want your children to use. Like in my family, I usually tell people, don't use the words that you don't want your children to use, because any word you use, even when it's an abuse, even when it's a bad word, they will use it, because they know Mommy, Daddy, they use these words. Therefore, even when you're fighting, guys, go fight somewhere else. Even when you're calling each other names, go call yourself those names somewhere else, because the children will copy and they will call their siblings, and it will imagine to a fight. Another thing is food related problems. If your children don't like certain foods, like for example, don't you ever say vegetables are healthy. vegetables are healthy. Don't use that. Instead, you can explain to the children the delicacy. Vegetables are very delicious. Vegetables, they give us the energy. They give us, you explain to them what it does, rather than telling them eating vegetable is very healthy. They will think eating vegetables, all the things that makes us good, that makes us healthy, they taste bad. You see the difference, eh? When you continually tell your children that vegetables are very healthy, you have to eat vegetables because they are healthy, that means you are telling them, they will know. Even especially the young ones, they will know, these good things, the healthy things, they taste yuck, they taste bad. So rather tell them vegetables are very delicious and they are good in our body. They help us to maybe to protect ourselves from diseases and all that. Just tell them what it is. They will understand. They will know that I am eating vegetables because of this and that and that. There are those children who eat a lot. They want just to eat. They are manipulating you. They want to eat and eat and eat and eat. Those kind of children, because if you let them continue eating, they will continue growing bigger. And you see now it will come with a lot of illnesses, obesity and all that. So you have to regulate the meals, how you give them the meals, how they should eat, and be an example. If you're a eater, you are there eating, children will eat. They will want to do like mommy and daddy, So you have to be a role model. What am I saying? What I'm saying today in this video is that for you to identify the problem with your children, you have to go to the root cause. Because if you don't go to the root cause, you will punish your child for no good reason. You will punish your child and you don't know whether they have a mental illness. That is why they are behaving the way they are behaving. You will punish your child because of this and that, but in wrong run, they are going through some things at school. They have a learning disability. They have a lot of issues. They are being bullied. They have been abused and you don't know. Or they are going through traumas. Maybe they saw an accident and you don't know whether it affected them. So what I'm saying in wrong run is try to help your child. Try to identify what is making your child to behave abnormally. Is it abnormal or negative, in a negative way? This is what I had for today. I hope you have learned something about how to keep your children safe, and of course, how to identify negative behaviors and why children behave the way they behave and how to help them.